What's up, guys? Welcome to Strength for Today's Man. We are in volume 57. I want to thank those of you that are tuning in for the very first time. Welcome to the show. I want to welcome Unknown Samoan 01 down there in Australia. They are our newest subscribers to YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I broke out Old Faithful because I wanted to read the King James Version of our scripture today. And I'm going to read 1 Samuel 12:24, where it says, "Only fear the Lord and serve him in truth with all your heart. For consider how great things he has done for you." Oh man, this is good. This is good. I want to say, great is thy faithfulness. That's what I want to talk about. God's faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. I know that life is trying, life is challenging, life can be difficult. But when you really think about all that God is doing for us as a whole, you can't help but to be thankful. You can't help but to have an attitude of gratitude for all that God is doing for you right now. You might be going through some issues, but God is still good. You might be having some challenges right now, but God is still faithful. And that's what we have to be thankful for. Great is thy faithfulness. What are some of the great things when you think about life? What are some of the great things that God has done for you? I know that list can be long. It could be a long list because there's so many things that we can sit down and remember all the great things that God has done for us, how he's been faithful. And that's what I want to say. There's the phrase, don't forget to remember his faithfulness. I think that's a great phrase, a great statement. Don't forget to remember his faithfulness. Have you ever just stopped to ponder his goodness in your life? And I'm sure you have. I know that might be a redundant or a rhetorical question for many of you, but think about it. Have you just stopped in the course of a day and just thought about all the great things he's done for you or he's doing for you? There's times I'll stop and I'll just think about all that God is doing for me, all that he has done for me, my family, my children, my home, my business, everything. My wife and I, we sit and we talk about the many things that God is doing and the things that we know that God is going to do because of our faithfulness and our obedience. But just stopping and thinking about all God is doing, man, it brings tears to your eyes. You could just get goosebumps just thinking about all the wonderful things God is doing. In spite of everything that's going on in the world today, the shooting, the killing, the weather, the wars, all of that, we know it's biblical. We know that the Bible is being fulfilled right now in our lifetime. But you have to stop and think about, even in the midst of that, God is still faithful. God is still good. Being thankful seems so simple, but we often forget the importance of remembering God's goodness and his faithful to us in our lives. Don't forget to remember God's faithfulness. Find some time. Here's a challenge for you. Find some time today to start a list of the great things that you observe God doing in your life. Now, I know that can be a serious list, but here I'm going to help you. In the heart of a man, there is greatness. Never, ever, ever give up. Here's a journal that you guys can start that list in. For the women, there in the heart of a woman, there is greatness. Make today or make this day great. These journals, they're on Amazon.com. I will leave a link down below where you can find those and pick those up. You can start doing your journaling and making your list of all the great things you observe God doing for you in your life. Now, you might even have to ask a few friends and family members to help you brainstorm on some of the things that God has done, because he's done so many, you can't remember everything. But just start a list and what you observe God doing in your life that is great. That is so great. Now, the Bible talks about consider. To consider something means to carefully think about it. So while you're making your list, consider, really think about it. Don't just rush through the list just to get this done, but really consider what God is doing for you. Take some time, really think about it. We are called to be men and women who fear the Lord and worship Him faithfully. Yes, great is thy faithfulness, but we want to worship Him in faithfulness. We want to fear the Lord and worship Him in faith. We sing that song, great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. We sing that. I don't know if that's the right version, but that's my version where I sit and I think about His faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. And I just want to thank Him for all that He's done for me because He's been faithful. And with all my heart, I'm thankful. It's an attitude of gratitude. That's what we need to have. This becomes much easier to accomplish when we regularly, let me get that out, when we regularly think about all the great things God is doing for us in our lives. It becomes a habit. That's a good habit to have, to remember, not to forget. Don't forget to remember God's faithfulness. And as you lead in your various realms of influence today, allow your thankfulness to God to lead you to be a man or woman who fears and worships the Lord with all of your heart. Great is thy faithfulness. And I'm going to close with this. God, your great works in my life are endless. Help me to never stop considering all the ways you're active and working in my life. May I live a life that is marked by my worship to you. Great is thy faithfulness. This is Strength for Today's Man, Volume 57. I'm Malachi Mitchell. You guys go out there, make it a great day. Don't forget to remember God's faithfulness. And I want to see you right back here on the next podcast. Thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the show. You guys be blessed.